Hello and welcome to part 2C of my Blender to Unity tower defense game tutorial. In this session we will complete the other stand and texture that. I am not very happy with the way this stand has been textured. I think it's because the cylindrical stand that I created in part 2B I was really pleased with, as you could probably tell when I was texturing it. I've never really got to grips with this sort of basic stand, I guess you might call it, for our turrets. So what I thought we might do in this session is go over to Substance Share, have a little play around, and work out how to import some stuff, as well as import some of our own textures from somewhere like cgtextures.com. So let's get started. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to close this down and relaunch it, because what I've done is I have imported those textures in just for that session. So let's just restart the session, and that will allow us to not have these materials and whatever imported from Substance Share, because I'm going to show you how to do that now. So first of all, let's get our basic stand. I don't know what to call it. What do you call it? I'm just calling it a block stand. I really haven't got a name for it yet, but I'm going to call it there you go. I'll call it stand block. I'm not really happy with that name, but given that it's probably not going to be used in the game, not by me anyway, we can call it what we like. So let's do the usual. Let's get into that process of baking the textures out, and we will select the output size of 1024 by 1024. I will do the anti-aliasing to 2x2 just to remove some of those sharp edges from the curvatures and what have you. I think that's what it does. This will take a few seconds. If you've got the time, then just put it to 8x8 or 4x4. It'll just smooth out those lines a bit from the unwrap. I think that's what it does. It kind of, obviously there could be some sharp jaggedy edges from Blender when it does its export, so it'll try and smooth all that out. And there we go, and that's done. Appreciate I'm talking quite quickly. I guess I'm hoping that's because this should all be standard stuff to you right now. Okay, so we've got ourselves a very basic looking white block, so let's start adding some textures to it. Now, if we slide over to Substance Share, this is the Algorithmics I guess material sharing repository. It's a kind of mishmash. There's plenty of free stuff there. There's some paid stuff as well for people that pay for the live, I think it is. You probably have to go and check the terms and conditions. And they've just also released this new, I think they call it mood packs, where you can download a whole heap of textures based on sort of themes like science or army or whatever. So that's kind of a one-off payment, and then you get a whole load of textures. But there's plenty of free stuff here, and the one I saw that I rather liked was this bolted square plate. Okay, this doesn't come out of the box, as it were. It doesn't come with Substance Painter. I think they've gone about it in the right way here. They could give you so many textures that you're just overwhelmed with it, or they could say to you, you know what, take some of the textures here, these are our standard ones, why don't you come and check us out and see what we've got as well for free that you can download for your project. So this is great. There's a whole heap of stuff here. Perhaps I've had a little look around at the sci-fi ones. I couldn't really find anything that made me go wow, that I could really fit in with what we're doing. And there's some really cool stuff here, like this spaceship metal and things like that. You can see people have worked really hard. Sci-fi heavy duty look. I'm tempted to give that a go, but I'm conscious that I'm doing a tutorial and I want to go with the stuff that I already know about. So if I just do a search for metal, I can't actually remember what I call it now. It was bolted square plates. This was the one. So what you do, you need to be logged in, but you should have an account. I would imagine if you've downloaded the tutorial, downloaded the demo or the full version. So you should log in, click on download. I'm hoping it'll appear. There we go. It loads the zip file. What is it? 17 megs. So that should take just a few seconds. Let's just wait for that to complete. And what I did was slowly. There we go. It's opened it up for me. It may not open it up for you depending on how your browser works, but I'm trusting that you can work all that stuff out. It's a zip file. So what I will do is I will just Control-C that and copy it to the desktop. I've already got it there. Let's just see if it asks me to overwrite. It probably will. So we'll just say replace the files. Obviously this won't happen to you. Replace the files in this destination. You probably want to copy it to somewhere that isn't your desktop as well, perhaps a temporary folder or something like that. Okay, so we've got our files here. We've got three files: the resources, the square plate, and this is SBS and SBAR. I think the SBS is the material and the SBSAR is a smart material. I might be wrong about that. Once you've got them, all you need to do is go over to your shelf over here, onto this materials section here, and just drag and drop those 3, or however many files there are, into the shelf. Okay, and you've got some options here. Import for current session only, import to this current project, so obviously this stand that we're working on. That could be useful if you just want to keep it in this, for this specific mesh. I'm going to do import to shelf. Okay, so there's a subfolder under your documents called Substance Painter 2 /shelf or /shelf, and then there's a whole host of subdirectories in there. So let's just import it to shelf, and once you've done that, it will come up with this message saying metal bolted square plate SPS cannot be imported, unknown resource type, and resources cannot be imported, unknown resource type. So you're thinking, oh, it hasn't worked, but weirdly it has worked, and in fact there it is, slowly coming to life. Will it show me? It won't enlarge it for me. Come on, there we go. So it has actually worked. I don't know if that's a bug algorithmic. I know you guys are watching this, so would really appreciate you having a look at that just to see if it's me being stupid and I'm doing something wrong, or whether that is actually a bug. So let's do this. Let's remove the basic paint layer, and let's add ourselves a material. I think if we just do that, it will create us a fill layer. The UV projection doesn't cut it. It looks as though, because of the angles of the, let's just do F1 of our unwrap, it's just made them a bit wonky. So let's do the usual. Let's just set that to triplanar projection. And what I would expect to see on the seams or near the seams is its effort to, let's press F2 just to get it out. By the way, if you press tab, I don't know if you've got version 2. I know version 2 isn't available for the demo yet, but if you press tab, it will go to full screen. So you can see it's not done a great job here. And I think the way let's press tab again, the way I got around this was just to set the UV scale to 1. There we go, and we've actually got ourselves a really nice looking kind of bolted panel stand. I don't know if that's nice or not. I kind of like it. I just don't know. I fell in love with the cylindrical stand so much that I'm not sure if I like it. I think this is probably better for floors and stuff, isn't it? But let's go with it because it's interesting. Well, I thought it was a bit too light, so let's just add another fill layer. Unless I can adjust any of the parameters here. Channel mappings, no. So there's nothing there that we can actually adjust. So let's add another fill layer. We'll just unselect all of the channels except for color, and we'll make that color black. Drag it down. It's weird because I actually prefer that color to the one on the bolted square plates, but I think I still will blend it a bit. So let's make it linear dodge. Let's try linear dodge. That's no good. Pass through. Let's try pass through and just start lowering that down till we get something quite dark. I think I might just change the roughness as well, make it a bit less shiny. Somewhere around there. I'll click the rough channel and just change the roughness. I won't change the height because I think that's all being set by these little ridges here. Okay, I like that sort of. Let's do one more thing. I want to put some kind of chevrons, I think I call them chevrons, on these sides here. So let's import a texture. Okay, this is very, very easy to do. I'm going to pop over to my substance chat. I've also got over here, well, this used to be called cgtextures.com. In fact, if I type cgtextures.com in, then it goes to textures.com. This must have been renamed recently, and if you haven't heard of cgtextures.com, where have you been? This is the go-to place for your sort of flat, clean textures. Quite often they are seamless, and they've got a whole. I can't even begin to tell you how many thousands and thousands of textures they've got available to you here. You've got this sort of bare metal that you can use, everything. Concrete, dirt, grass, leaks, all this sort of stuff. Wood, plenty of wood, and it's got things like buildings as well, which you can look at, use for sort of reference purposes, or just drag them to unwrap them and stuff like that. It's absolutely brilliant. It's free to use. You have to register. It's free to use, and I think you get around 10 megabytes worth of downloads per day. If I show you if I just search for stripes, for instance, which I think is where we were a minute ago. I called them chevrons, but it didn't like that. This was the one I went for. You can see that, well, it's already said downloaded. I'll download it again. But there is a paid service here, so you can actually pay and download much larger textures. If if you're serious about doing artwork and stuff like that, I'd imagine that we really would want a premium account. But given that we are certainly creating a very small sized mesh here, this 1024 by 119 is more than adequate. So I did actually download it earlier on, so I'll just show that in folder. If it's like I say, so once you've logged in, it will just download it for you. I think if you move your mouse over, just cancel that a second. Does that do it? There we go. You can actually see it a bit more closely. Okay, so I've downloaded it. I just clicked on the small version there. Let's do show in folder. And again, like the materials that we loaded, but now we're going to be dragging that into the textures. Sorry, there we go. I don't know if it matters, but I like to drag it into the right location. Interesting one, because there's a question for Algorithmic. Again, it's going to ask us the question: is it for this session only? By this session, it means this session of Substance Painter. So when you shut down Substance Painter, it won't be there when you come back. I can tell you that is risky, because if you do save this file, it won't be there when you reload the file, and it will just have an empty layer without this texture in it. So it's probably not wise if you're gonna do that. I'm actually going to do import to shelf, so it's going to be there forever. Okay, or at least until I remove it from the shelf. And we can now go on ahead and try and add these to the size. Now the way I did this, let me show you the way I did this. I'm going to add another fill layer. No, let me show you the way I did it that didn't work, and just see if you can work out how to do this. A little challenge for you. So I had a regular layer. It's the brush. I'm going to remove the alpha, a bit like I do with the normals when you add them, and I'm going to get rid of the color, rough, normal, and height, and the bolted square. Yes, I'm going to get rid of that. So sorry, got to do it again. That's annoying. That's okay. We'll just get rid of those, and then just under the base color, if you slide down, we can find it. I hope. There's so many things there now. So many. I think goodies was the expression I heard being used. There it is, stripes. So these are in alphabetical order, I think. So there we go. So we've got that. So we've got our mesh, but it'll only go so big. Okay. We can also no, up and down. There we go. Just to angle it. Okay. I want to add a black mask. So the way I will do that is I will add a layer there, another fill layer. Excuse me. Add a folder. And then I will add just any old texture in there just to show the point, okay? Because I only want it added to these corners, so we'll quickly add a black mask to here. It's the usual affair, and we'll just make sure that's selected, then just select these. Why did it do that? I click that, right? And then I click that. Oh, maybe it's that one. I always get confused which one's which. Yes, it's that one, sorry. And that one. And that one. So you see, so this folder now is only affecting those 4 edges. Cool. And then we'll get our layer, drag that in. Okay, and just remove that. Okay. Now we can stamp that on, and you know, as expected, it's only affecting that because we've put our black mask there. But I can't go any bigger. Okay, it's as big as it'll let me go. What I can do is go up here and adjust and change the size space to viewport, and it'll become massive. Let's just change it also to camera and do Control Z, and I'm just going to make this a blooming no, not that, and smaller. There we go. Now why is it still? It shouldn't be. Oh, now it's gone. There we go. Camera. I'm not sure why that is moving around like that. Okay, so now if I click stamp, can you see it's only done that piece there? It's the reason for that is I think if I go back to tangent wrap, no, back to object. Yeah, it's bizarre. I cannot for the life of me work out how to get the size. So the way to fix this is to not do that, but to add a in here, add a fill layer, like so. Just drag it into that. There we go, so it's only there, and then we'll just get our material and drag that into the fill layer. It's not letting me. Why isn't it? Fill layer, let's just unselect those. Base colour. Apologies if I'm going too quickly. There it is. Okay, good. And a couple of things we're going to need to do. I think we're going to need to change the angle. We're changing the rotation here to something meaningful. And due to the quality of the image, and I can't quite put my finger on where that's happening. It's probably up the top of there. I'm pointing, but you can't see it. But maybe at the top of that image, you can see it's not quite rounded off quite very nicely. And I think that's showing here. You can play around with the images that you download, but the way I found to fix this one was just to go 1 there, and so you've got yourself. It doesn't fit onto any of those side pieces. I like that. I like the way that looks. I think probably a cheeky bit of blending might be required, so let's just do that. Let's click here. We're still on the base color. Make it pass through, and just blend it in. Dunno. Linear dodge. Never quite sure which one is the one to go for. Like so, maybe something like that. Okay, all right. So let's get some of these names, shall we? What is this one? What is that? That's just a darken. We'll call that darken, shall we? And this we'll call chevrons. To be honest with you, I'm tempted to call this one chevrons as well. Will it let me? Of course it will. Okay, good. I could leave it there. I'll go a little bit more detail just because I fancy the fun. I will also, one thing I was going to add, I think, was a caution sign, and let's do that now. Let's add, go over to here, and we'll just search for caution sign. Let's do images. We'll find. Oh, that's bright. Wow, that's bright to me. Caution. What's your step? Caution. Your wording here. I just want to find a simple one that says, you know, this is dangerous or something like that. I can't see one immediately. I'm sorry, I'm getting drawn in. Caution. There we go. How about this one? Oh, it's got a thing on it. So this is the thing. You'll need to be wary. I mean, obviously, if you're doing this, if you're not going to pay charge to play this game, then I don't think anybody's going to raise too many eyebrows. But if you, I like that one. If you were to charge for this, and this is somebody's image, you need to get their permission. Okay. So let's just view the image. Is it? I can't 100% tell if that was seamless. Transparent, but let's save the image as. We'll save it on the save it in pictures. Yeah, I'll save it in desktop on the desktop for now. Save, and then guess what? We can go back to our here, go to desktop, and just drag it into the textures. Let's import to. I'll tell you what. Before we do it, then let's save this. We'll save and. I've already got one. You won't have that, but I've called it block.spp. It'll ask me if I want to write. I'll say yes. Obviously, you won't have that option for your first time. And let's bring that back in here, and we'll do it for import to project block. Yeah, and that way it will keep it for this actual project. It's a regular layer that we want. There is no alpha, which is good because otherwise it would just. Well, I'll show you. I'll show what it'll do. I'll just pick a circle, and then down here I'll remove that. No, yes, I will. I want the caution. There we go. And you can see what's happened because I've got an alpha. It's done for a circle, and if you know, imagine if you picked a like that, it would do something weird. So just get rid of it altogether, and then we'll zoom that down, fit that into. And it was transparent, so that's good news. And we'll just stamp that in there. Why is that looking a little darker than I intended? I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than those bolts actually. And let's just make this linear dodge something a bit brighter. There we go. Okay, so we've got ourselves a caution. Is that the right place to put it? I think that's pretty fine. Let's add symmetry as well, so I'll do it on this edge and just add it. Okay, good. I haven't added any roughness to these edges, and you know I love to do that, so let's get that done quickly now. So what was this? This was caution sign, and let's quickly add a fill there. Well, what we're going to go for? We're going to go for a darker colour. Oi, no. On this layer, thank you, painted steel. I thought I dragged that in. Hang on. What colour is it currently? Oh, it's already black, so in which case we don't want it we want it as nickel pure or something. Nice bright colour. There we go. And then we'll add a black mask. And then we'll do what we'll do is smart masks, and I'll use my concrete edges too to drag that in. How's that looking? Yes, it's good. I can whack that up a touch. Yeah, that's gone better than expected. I'm just going to whack off the metal off this. Whacking off the metal, is that a good idea? No. Let's keep that back on. I think actually, no, take it off. And then just maybe just knock the colour down a touch. We're on the colour here. So we want it to be linear dodge add. And then we'll just bring that down. Something sensible. Okay. And so we'll call that edge roughness, something like that. Save it again. Do you know, I'm actually quite liking this a lot more than my first couple of efforts. Okay, let's just add a few normals just because we can. We've got plenty of time left. Let's just go to another layer. We'll just call this layer normals. Okay, it's a paint layer already, so we'll just unselect the colour and we'll pick some normals. This is just fun. You can play around with this at your leisure. The one I found actually worked kind of weirdly well, and it's one of these bolt-ons, which is I think is meant to be the smallest for smaller screws and things. Was it this? Was it that one? Let's try it a second. No. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? When you unselect, when you close it down, it gets rid of everything. That's very annoying as well. Let's just pick one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because you guys can work it all out. There we go. I like that. Let's just stick you on so that we've got something. And I'm going to pop you there and there. Okay. And on this side, I'm going to flip you over here. Just shift. I'll press F6 so we've got a flat view. Doesn't matter a huge amount. We'll select another normal. Oh, I seem to be in material mode. And we'll select another normal. Oh, I don't know. I like some of these container type ones. I don't know how they'll look. Excuse me, there we go. Who knows? Okay, so we've got a caution. Oh, look! Huh? It's back to front. Is anyone ever going to see that? That's interesting, isn't it? You mirror it, and it mirrors it. I suppose I can't really argue with that, can I? So if I go to caution here, is it going to be kind and remember my settings? No. No, it does not. Let's just do that and then go to caution sign. No, it does not. So we'll have to reset that. Just unselect that. And then base color, caution. Before we do that, we'll have to rub it out. So we'll go to the erase tool and just click on here and just rub that out. Make sure symmetry isn't on, otherwise you're going to rub it off the other side that is good. There we go. Make sure you're on the right layer as well, the caution sign layer. Then back here, please don't tell me I've just removed. I think I did, didn't I? I'm on the caution sign, yes. So it's reset everything. That's frustrating. Let's get rid of all these again. It's just the base color and the caution sign there. Why on earth has it done that? That's not a stencil. It's done it as a material. I am not happy with that. Let's just... What have you done? What? Okay, right. I'm going to quickly start again. remove that layer. Let's add a new one. Pack it in. I'm going to remove that. Okay, we'll add another layer up above it. It seems to have gone into some weird stencil mode. I'll remove the alpha because we don't want that. We only want the. That's it. The base color is going to be the caution sign. Where'd it go? It was quite near the top, wasn't it? It's alphabetical, so it's going to be there. I don't know why it's done that, guys. Or is it that? That's why. Excuse me, I was in... What is that mode? Projection mode. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we can do this now. I think we might have an alpha. No, we haven't. So we can just click. Boom. And spin it round. Look! Has the world gone mad? Oh! It just... I am befuddled. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Look, something weird. Now it's fine. Okay, we are learning as we go. I am quickly going to call that complete before before I screw anything else up. And that is actually a better stand than the first couple that I've done. I'm pleased with that, and maybe you think that's good enough. You probably getting the hang of Substance Painter now and realising that there's so much you can do and so much you can play with. I hope that you can see it's quite easy to just import your own textures, although it does have its weirdness. It seems in the mirror mode, and some of the things around the brush sizes need to be looked at. But hey, you know what? We've got through it and we've done it, and we've got a very reasonable looking stand that if you wanted to use that for a very low poly game, I think you'd be that would be more than worthy. So thank you very much, guys. I can't thank everyone enough that's subscribed over the last couple of weeks. It's just been phenomenal again. I really appreciate the feedback and the comments. Please continue to like and subscribe if you think this is any good. We're rattling our way through now. I think we've got 3 more of the turrets to texture. We've got the machine gun turret, the missile turret, and the laser turret, and then we'll do the couple of aliens. We'll rattle through those, and then we'll get on with doing some coding in Unity to do the actual game itself. So that'll be exciting times when we get there eventually. Thank you ever so much for listening. Catch you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.